There's a lesson at the heart of Buddhism that modern life has almost completely forgotten. It's not about incense, statues, or robes. It's not about rituals, philosophy, or exotic temples. It's a brutally simple truth. You cannot own anything, not even your experience. Modern life tells you the opposite. It tells you that happiness is something you can possess: a house, a body, a reputation, a follower count, a partner who never leaves, a bank account that never dips. But the Buddha's ancient lesson was clear. Everything you try to own will eventually slip through your fingers. Not because life is cruel, but because everything is moving. The Buddha called it anicca, impermanence, not as a poetic idea, but as the basic structure of reality. If you forget this, you live in constant shock and disappointment. Every change feels like a betrayal. Every loss feels like an attack. Every wrinkle, every breakup, every failure, every unexpected twist in your life. It all feels wrong. But if you remember this lesson, your relationship with life changes. You stop expecting stability from what is unstable. You stop demanding guarantees from what was never promised. You stop treating change as an enemy and begin to understand it as the only thing that has ever been constant. This is the lesson modern life forgot, and it's the one you need now more than ever. Part 2. How we build a world against impermanence. Look at how your world is designed. We freeze photos to keep moments. We keep conversations and screenshots. We archive posts, save chats, and cling to digital memories. We inject, lift, filter, and smooth the face to fight time. We chase forever homes, forever relationships, forever careers. We built an entire culture trying to fight impermanence. But reality doesn't care. Things still change. People still leave. Bodies still age. Trends still die. Those who seemed unshakable still fall. Those who seemed permanent still vanish. Buddhism doesn't say this to depress you. It says it to wake you up. Because when you build your life on the fantasy of permanence, every change becomes a crisis. A friend drifts away. A job ends. A business fails. Your body no longer looks the same. And suddenly, you feel like your entire identity is under attack. The Buddha saw this clearly. He said, life includes gain and loss, praise and blame, pleasure and pain, fame and disrepute. They spin like a wheel. No one escapes them. Modern life, however, sells the illusion that with the right mindset, the right grind, the right hacks, you can stop that wheel. You can live in permanent success, permanent youth, permanent growth. But that promise is a lie, and your nervous system is exhausted trying to keep up with it. The ancient Buddhist lesson isn't just that things change. It's that fighting this change with clinging and denial is what creates so much of your suffering. The suffering isn't just in the loss. It's in the refusal to accept that loss is part of the deal. Part 3. Turning toward change instead of running from it. So what does Buddhism ask you to do? Not to give up. Not to be passive. Not to float through life saying whatever. It asks you to change your stance toward impermanence. Instead of treating change as a failure or punishment, you begin to treat it as information. Something ends. You breathe and ask, what can this teach me? Something new begins. You breathe and remember, this too will pass. Someone praises you. You enjoy it, but you don't build your entire identity on it. Someone criticizes you. You feel it, but you don't let it define your worth. You start to see everything as a wave, rising, cresting, falling. Buddhist practice is training yourself to surf those waves, instead of screaming at the ocean. You do this by repeatedly bringing your attention to the present moment and noticing, very simply, that everything is shifting. The breath flows in, and it's gone. A sound appears, and it fades. A thought bursts into consciousness, and then it disappears into silence. If you watch this long enough, something changes inside you. You stop taking changes personally. Loss still hurts, but it stops feeling like an insult targeted at you. It starts feeling like part of how the universe moves. And in that acceptance, a strange new peace appears. Part 4. The power of letting go while still caring. Here's the part modern people struggle with. How do I accept impermanence without becoming numb? How do I let go, but still care? Buddhism offers a paradoxical answer. You can care more deeply because you know nothing lasts. When you forget impermanence, you take everything for granted. You assume people will always be there. You assume your health will hold. You assume chances will come again. When you remember impermanence, you become more present. You listen better. You love more honestly. You waste less time. You stop postponing kindness. You stop delaying your real life for some perfect future. When you know that a moment won't return, you show up for it differently. This is not detachment as coldness. It is detachment from illusion. You can love fully without demanding that love stay frozen. You can commit to your work, your relationships, your path. Not because you think they'll last forever, but because they are here now, alive now, asking for your full heart now. This is the mature form of letting go, staying open, staying engaged, while releasing your demand that reality obey you. Conclusion: the lesson you needed all along. The ancient Buddhist lesson that modern life forgot is painfully simple. Everything you cling to will change. If you build your identity on what changes, you will live in fear. But if you build your life on seeing clearly, loving fully, and letting go gracefully, you can move through a changing world without breaking every time something shifts. Impermanence isn't the enemy. It's the reason anything beautiful can exist at all. Sunsets, songs, seasons, youth, laughter, friendships, chances, even your struggles, they all arise and pass away. You don't have to fight this. You can learn to walk with it. Modern life tried to erase this truth, but your heart still feels it. And somewhere inside you, something relaxes when you hear it spoken plainly. You were never meant to hold anything forever. You were meant to meet each moment fully, and then let it go. That is the lesson. That is the freedom. And that is what you need now, not as an idea, but as a way of living.